All right, we are ready to go. Running a little bit behind, but as usual, I'm fighting with the CPU. Good news, parts are on order, and the new computer will be coming in pretty much starting, I think, tomorrow. Some parts are going to be a little bit late. I'm assuming some supply chain issues are still responsible for that. So it's not going to be completed for maybe a couple of weeks. But, yep, new system on the way. Cost about, when all is said and done, it'll probably be about $2,000, but it'll be worth it. It'll be the first computer I've built in 8 years. This one has certainly seen its fair share of time and is ready to be not necessarily retired, but maybe just used for work stuff. But it will be nice to have a more modern system because I want to be able to play games that are a little more demanding on the system, and I don't want them to come out as a PowerPoint like it did when I was trying to stream BioShock. That was not great, but I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to stream maybe some Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out and do some other stuff and not be restricted to things that are, 8-bit, low poly, stuff like that. So, hey, this game is low poly. Apollo is nowhere to be seen. Anyway. So we are going to get into the fourth trial for Ace Attorney. Really looking forward to this. We finished the third trial, the third chapter on Monday. Things have started to heat up. I did hear a rumor say that this game was supposed to be a 3-parter. It was supposed to be a trilogy, but because of maybe low sales or whatever, I can't remember the reason, they had to make it 2 games, which means this game is kind of 2 games condensed into 1, which maybe explains why the last trial ended quite as hot as it did. And maybe this trial, I guess, is going to be the third game kind of condensed into 1. It also explains why there were certain times when, and I commented on this a couple of times, how things seemed a little bit rushed. Like it was like, wait a minute, how did I get to that conclusion that quick? Maybe the game was just kind of speeding along. That's fine, I guess. But I am really looking forward to what's going to happen in this trial. We know that Mikotoba and Jigoku are coming to England, and that's just on the tail of us learning about their partner who got up to some serial killing. I have some suspicions that partner may have been innocent, and he may have been covering for someone else. It would be interesting if the judge was the actual professor, because the judge is usually window dressing in these games. He's just the sprite at the back who occasionally bangs his gavel. Jigoku's already been more involved in this game than in most as far as judges go, because he's been in the antechamber and he's friends with Mikotoba and he is part of the story. That's more than the judge usually is. I also wonder if the judge is going to show up as the next victim. He may be the actual professor, he may be the next victim, he may be both. The fact that he's just getting involved just enough to get invested in his character is making me a little concerned for his future prospects, but we'll see. I also noticed something else. Now that I've been getting farther along, I've been able to watch a couple of old Let's Plays, and I was reminded of something that happened the last game. When Eggs Benedict went to retrieve that coat from the pawn shop, they had that whole system where you needed the slip, you needed a password. His password was Professor. And I'm curious if that's just an Easter egg, a coincidence, or if there might be something more to that. I mean, we know things are going to start, tying together, especially if this last couple of chapters is going to be fast-tracking plot on us. We already got a bit of a plot dump last week with finding out who A. Shin was and some other stuff, and of course finding out what happened to Asogi. That got confirmed real quick. So, I don't know. You know what? I think I've talked enough. I think it's time for us to jump on in and have our fun. So, let's make that happen. It is time for more Ace Attorney Chronicles. I love this frickin' game. Can't wait to see what happens. We are continuing. We are starting a new trial. Twisted Karma and his last bow or bow. I haven't seen anyone walking around with a bow yet, so I'll assume it says bow. I'm assuming that has something to do with the Sogi. Let's hear some plot. The mere fact that the titles are starting to take a different format means things are going to start being
Pipe in hand. Sholmes
going to the next level here.
The thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, A most bizarre incident.
What the?
Born of a curious advertisement.
Why is everyone in England a redhead?
A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night.
We still have questions about the professor's death, too. Who shot him?
And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town.
Is that going to be the new mystery?
There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it
Or
is
was that Duncan?
other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Yes, yes. Eight days after that earth-shattering trial and Kazuma regaining his memory, or Kazuma. So yeah, that was immediately following the last chapter. 8 days later. I don't even have my sword anymore. I gave it back to him. We were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Hotel Bandol. Mikotoba and Jigoku are here. It's the Gatewater! Professor Mikotoba's due to arrive at any moment. I gotta find my voices again. I keep forgetting that's a thing that has to happen at the beginning of every single friggin' stream. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. You don't look glad. Suzuto hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. Are we gonna have a flashback? The truth about Kazuma's father. Do you suppose my father knew, well, he had to have, that he was actually the mass murderer of the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, he did take Kazuma under his wing. Also, they came here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? That too. Yes, that's true. How could they not know? Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as... Wait, what? Missing in Hong Kong? You mean when his body, quote-unquote, was supposedly getting dropped off or something? Also, this word keeps coming up. Professor. Mikotoba is a professor. Why was the murderer called the professor in the first place? We haven't really gotten an answer on that either. The fact this word keeps coming up, I'm not sure if the translation is just not aware of how hard it's hammering it, or if there really is a connection. Man, there's professors everywhere. The defendant was a professor in the last case. That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. How would he know that? He's just getting off the boat. Ah, there she is. Mikotoba, Jigoku. Hey, check them out. Yeah, that judge. Man, they're looking sharp. Father. Look at this 8-foot Japanese man with 12 beards on him. Hello, Suzuto. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. I can't even remember. These guys barely had voices, so... Boy, Mikotoba has a whole different vibe when he's dressed like that. He looks like he should be doing some soft shoe on Broadway or something. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. Why is there a question mark? We know who this is. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I guess Ryunosuke doesn't know his name yet. I'm pretty sure it's Jigoku, something along those lines. I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Yeah, you don't get things by telegram yet, huh? Oh, I see. Thank you very much for not throwing me in jail. Who is this man? You know who this man is. He's been in like 3 chapters now. I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. What if I smacked you over the head with a gavel? In that case, how about a little reminder, Shishiru? A firm tap should do it. Oh no, I am getting the gavel. Yes. A firm tap? What? Am I getting thrown across the room then? Here we go then. Oh, yep, here we go. Dude, that's a little threatening, okay? Guilty. Okay, Courtney. Oh, you're... Wait, I'm not guilty. Why'd you say that? Don't say guilty. I didn't get a game over in that case. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And by now, I mean a year ago. Your Excellency. He has a name. It is Jigoku, okay. Or Jigoku. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Haha. Last time I saw you, you were a boy. Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. I just love saying guilty and slamming my hammer. Ha ha ha. Well, I was not declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time, especially not from me. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. So why are you back? What's with the trip? And what's with the recalling Suzuto? And what's with the everything that's been going on? I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Ah, the Forensic Science Symposium. Okay. That explains why Mikotoba's here. That's his thing. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Shishiro? What are you talking about, Yujin? Let's all call each other by our first names. Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. I guess we knew that. Maybe Ryunosuke hadn't put the pieces together. He's the third visiting scholar. How are those two backbeards pointing back like that? Dude, this guy must spend like 3 hours every morning on that thing. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. This guy laughs. I was going to say this guy laughs as much as the other judge, but no, wait, the other judge doesn't laugh at all. Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Shishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Interesting. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on this study tour. Oh, I didn't know that. Guilty as charged. Boy, you're a real card when you're not in your robes and out of the courtroom, huh? Thank you very much. He really is every bit as important as he looks. I just intimidate everyone with my beard. Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Vortex yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved in 8 days ago. Oh, yeah, you guys, yeah. You guys probably would be coming in here, not with questions, but with, hey, we want to talk to you about some stuff. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Let's just talk about this, state secret in the middle of an open hotel foyer here. No problem. Yeah, could you tell us any more about it? Conversation time. Here we go. But first, how was your voyage here? What was the weather like? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anybody's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same road as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Well, how'd you come here last time, stupids? Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris. We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. I have no idea how to separate these guys' voices now. I didn't think the judge was someone we'd be seeing a whole lot of after the first trial. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Shishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. You're the Ryunosuke of this group, huh? Speak for yourself, Eugen. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. The one who was killed? Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Yeah, they're talking about Watson. Oh, no, they're talking about him. Kazuma's father, I suppose. Run that by me again? Close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yeah, wouldn't that have been Watson? Alright, never mind. Speaking of Kazuma's father, let's talk about Kazuma's father. The professor. The killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy. I've been struggling with that word. I've heard some other people pronounce it differently. Aristocracy? Aristocracy. I think it's aristocracy. It was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Isn't Genshin the Japanese word for foreigner? What a name. Genshin. You knew, I presume, father? No, I'm thinking of that wrong. Hang on a second. Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm not looking up Genshin Impact. No, it turns out I am looking up Genshin Impact because nothing else comes up. Alright, allow me to be more specific. Not helping. This is delaying the stream too much and people are going to get bored. Oh no, it looks like it's just a name. I think I'm thinking of Gaijin. Is that the name? I forget. Anyway. This is why you'll never hear me brag about how good my Japanese is. Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. God, how many jobs did this guy have? He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. I think they were talking about Watson when they were talking about the guy at the hospital. Either that was a translation error or Inosuke is just stupid. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth. And he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? I mean, no? Really? He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up, as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Study what happened to my dad. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. Let's go ask him, since he's undead now. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma's since turned up here in London working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeke. Oh, did they not know this? This will be a surprise. What? Yeah, did you know he's alive? Because he's alive. I guess you guys were on a boat. What? That's news to us. So, Lord Vortex's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Yeah, so, not dead. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? Oh? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. Yeah, we're still a little unclear on Mikotoba. He's hiding his own secrets here, just with the recall of Suzuto and his questioning of Soseki and some other stuff. You guys got a little splaining to do. I don't think Ryunosuke has the balls to start interrogating you, but yeah, we're gonna have some conversations, I'm sure. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. Yeah, the body just up and vanished, and we were just like, whatever. But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. That's something else that occurred to me. You know what's really cruel? Someone who's got amnesia and then putting a mask on him. Like, what? Why would you do that? It's just, hey, this guy has no idea who he is. Let's hide his face so that no one will actually see him and maybe recognize him and give us some answers or nothing. You know, it's such a ridiculous plot device in movies and TV, but as I was thinking about it, I was just like, who would do that in reality? Why would you go out of your way to put a mask on someone who has no memory? Why is that a trend? That seems counterproductive. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. Ironically, after we took the mask off of someone else so that he could recognize them. Isn't that crazy? This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Vortex didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Cosm has been these last few days. Yeah, I'm curious what he's up to as well. You wouldn't think he'd be wandering around, but he did say he had a mission. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? I would think not. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Yujin here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original three. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yumi University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yeah, we didn't really do autopsies during the Japanese trials, did we? Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. No more talk of graves. I have a weak stomach for horror. Don't tell me about the amnesia stream later today. I can't handle it. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea. Why are we still talking about this? I explicitly requested we change the subject. Do you remember that Scottish prisoner governor? Barricade, his name was. He was a good man. Barricade, that's a new name that's come up. Barricade, Vortex, all the Decepticons are here. Yes, but then of course in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. Are we going to meet Barricade? When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you were a little too far. You went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Aww. We done with the chittin' and the chattin'? Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Suzetto's gone off at a run. I was like, yeah, what the hell? Did she flash step? What was with that breeze? I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Oh, am I going to have a little tete-a-tete with the judge? Am I going to learn some stuff? Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Suzuto for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. What's up? Do you know something's going to happen? I was worried about the judge's future. I was kind of half worried about Mikotoba, too, because he's ripe for the next pickings as well. Someone important is going to die this chapter. That's a given. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry, what do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Suzuto was born. Yeah, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh yeah, Suzuto hinted at something like that. Was it her mother passing away? It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Shishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. Oh, you're still here. I thought you took your trunk. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. Wow, you were the Naruhodo of that little pairing there. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Uh-oh. Oh, of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, No, there we go. Hey, you were a juror, weren't you? Did we get your profession at the time, or were you just a random juror? Yeah, weren't you the guy in charge of the Carriage Drivers Guild? I feel like that was you. Oh, well. Asset reuse. Why do you have a camera? I'm so sorry that took so long. Miss Suzuto. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Also, a picture of everyone. Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Oh, of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. He is going to ask for a photo of us. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. What a nice little service. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Yes, of course. Look at him. Look at giggly Suzuto. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Could you leave again for like 5 minutes? Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street, then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yeah, let's go. Oh, Father, do you want to meet Sherlock Holmes? I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. It's been a week. Hope he's okay. Maybe I'll try meeting with Lord Vortex later and ask him about it. I don't really see a need to examine anything here. A new location has been added. It's the location we're at right now. Isn't that handy? Let's go look at a shovel. Wait, did I say shovel? I meant spade. Damn it. You didn't hear that. Okay, so my understanding is this is the last time I need to look at this damn thing. The spade is still here. Look. See the spade? The spade, Suzuto? Please, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not a spade, as I think you well know. It's a shovel. Didn't take long to reignite that old argument. We literally looked at the shovel in the wax museum. I have an idea. Let's give the implement a name, like Professor DeBimbo named his tools. Oh, delightful. Oh, I never thought of doing that, because it's stupid. From now on, then, let's call it Ryunosuke. Why? That seems confusing. It's clearly much more of a Suzuto. The old argument has taken a new and unexpected turn, it seems. There's my achievement, although I don't feel like I've achieved much. Oh, what to... Oh, so I should literally go back to Holmes's place. Not up here. I went too far. I just ran past Iris and she didn't see us. It's good news that Professor Mikotoba arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful. And the fact that Father's been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Jigiko, us, and Kazuma, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? At least 5. Well, yes, I suppose so. Also, Soseki's cat. But London does have a population of 6 million, so I think we're still a minority. Suzuto's father, who came here as a visiting student 16 years ago, and Kazuma. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. And I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now. Which means something's going to happen. So we don't want to go see Vortex yet. Let's just go see what happens here. And then we'll go to Vortex. What? Why are you screaming in accents of some kind? Is that French? Is Rosario here losing her shit? What's going on? What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. I was about to say, that didn't sound like a man screaming. Do you think... Could it have been Mr. Holmes? Did Iris spill her tea and give him the Gyarados treatment? Oh my, I do hope not. Who the hell are you? Well, here's the redheads that we saw in the opening. Should we recycle the French voice? I can't imagine Rosario is going to be showing up again. Rosario / 2 spells. I don't do it anymore. I do it anymore. Well, they are French. We'll go with that. Now I gotta come up with 2 French people. Is that a boy or a girl on the left? Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? I get to do stuff with the male that I couldn't get to do with Rosario last time, at least. Also, the gremlin's gone. I'm surprised the little German kid was only around for as little as he was. Look at their hair. It's bright red. Who are these people? I think they must be clients of Mr. Holmes. Oh, hey, Gina. Right, you two, you coming with me now? Down to the clink. What'd you guys do? Also, France is coming up a fair bit. They talked about stopping at France. We got these French folks here. I wonder if the German, or the, not German, the Russian revolutionary is going to show up again. No, not a prison. It's dark and damp, and I don't like it. Bon, the darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. I was born in the darkness, melded by it. I did not see the light until I was a man. But you're always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. This is not far off from the German accent. At least there's a little less Ren in it. I don't like this. I don't like it. I really hope we never see you two again. Well, tough. We'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving. You show them, Gina. Kick their asses. Bye then, Jean Bean. Have fun. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Iris. And thanks, you great detective. Is he depressed? Where's depressed Holmes? Not even here. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? I think she's just like bossing the adults around. Oh, Susie, Ryu. Hello, Iris. We're home. We ran right past you to the attic and then came back down. See, I know Flash Step too. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Ah, well, that's great news. I hope I get to see my daddy again soon. Oh, can we need to... That needs to be addressed. There's an elephant that's been in the room for a while now, and he needs a wash, and... Yeah. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Watson. Here we go. So, Iris, all that remains now is the greatest of problems known to man. Where are my... Oh, what? What? No. What? Why? I have questions. Huh? Boy, that prologue wasn't kidding around. Why is this... You know what? No, I'm just gonna... Just like when I saw you use the whack... No, there's nothing. Hey, Holmes, how's it going? Regular old day? Before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order. Don't you, my dear fellows? Please tell me Susanoo dyes her hair red because she wants to be like Holmes. She wants to be fashionable. She wants to do like her idol does. Do it. I dare you. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruto? Do I have a crumb of such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. I wouldn't put it past Iris to have developed a new kind of smoke that just dyes people's hair red. And 3 people got caught up in a freak explosion 2 minutes ago. That's the headcanon now. Whatever is going on here today? In that case, let us sit and drink now, for I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. All sorts of new people. Well, we have nothing more to inspect because all my achievements are done as far as I know, so... Sure, I'll pay attention to you. Mr. Holmes, who were the 2 gentlemen that were here before? Okay, so they were both men. Sucks to be me. Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. If they've got models, they're going to be of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? Didn't seem like Gina wanted to turn a blind eye. Maybe you just wanted to hoist them off on her. But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Sherlock Holmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Holmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. There's a crime happening here, all right. It's a fashion crime. You should have asked Toby to come, too. We could have had an arresting tea party. Iris, priorities. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Ah, I have it. A bungler, that's the word. I would have called it a Holmeser. It's a good job he's not here to hear. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. Here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good. That's gonna be a thing, isn't it? Just like, it's gonna come into play in a trial in some way. I saw someone with red hair, and we'll see. I wonder what the men did. I guess we're not going to find that out. Oh, the greatest problem. Yep, more joke stuff. The lie you told. Yeah, we have a lot of questions about Cosmo to ask a lot of people. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? You misplaced your violin again? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Holmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, wasn't expecting that. Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly? It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago. I like how this game just keeps casually dating itself as an era piece. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Oh, so that's just tangential. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Holmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent. Is this just a giant non sequitur to ask me for money? But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Rosique only the other day? Pshaw, a large sum? One potted her for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. A motor car? Later? Did you pawn it? What happened to it? Or did that get stolen by the redheads? Honestly, Holmesy, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least, and that's to charge you money. And what was the answer? Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes. Are we getting on the Roomba already? It is way too early in the morning. Don't tell me. Let me see. Let Suzuto start hunting. She loves this. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Is this going to have something to do with the red hair? Are you modeling or something? Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. Yeah. Is that red I see in your hair, or have my eyes just started bleeding? I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Are you just humoring him now? Wait. That didn't answer Jack. Alright, you know what? I'm not interested in your fashion sense here. I'm not interested in your hair dye. I'm interested in the lie you told about Cosmo. Let's have a little chat. Mr. Holmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us, I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Actually, that reminds me, why is your hair gray when you look like you're 25? Is that the hair dye? That case aboard the SS Eclair in January. I don't think that's what it's supposed to be called, but whatever. Cosimo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? Can we talk about my hair some more? I really don't want to discuss this. The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But, really? That was actually something I was curious about. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. And they listened to you why? Oh, how horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? Yeah, excellent question. I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. Oh, fuck you. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you, I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? You don't have a hat. Why are you putting your hand up there? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. You don't say. Mr. Holmes. Was Cosima trying to do something on the down low? Was Holmes maybe told about this ahead of time to try to pull something off, and then when the murder, quote unquote, happened, he had to improvise? It'll be interesting to hear what the whole plan was here, but I also don't understand. Like, this is one of those irritating tropes where someone knows something, they're just refusing to tell us. Not because there's a good reason, but just they're being a dick. We'll call it Kyoko syndrome. That's it? That's all we're going to talk about? That's all you got for me? Can I present things? No. I would really like you to elaborate further, and I would love an option to elaborate, but I don't seem to get one of those. The NPCs don't like to talk about things they don't have options for. I'll tell you what, let's just go talk to Vortex and see if we can trigger stuff. I'm not sure if I'm done in that room. Oh, hey. What's up, bro? We still bros? Where's my other bro? Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here? I actually didn't recognize him from the back at first. My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. You really don't need any more attention. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Thanks a lot. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. She's wearing bright pink. What's your excuse for her? Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now? Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. Suck up. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. Why did I come here again? As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. How is this his job? He's a prosecutor. I will attend at once. He just looks at me. Doesn't even say anything. Peace out, fucker. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? Yeah, no kidding. But I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Is that Kazuma? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Oh yeah, right, her. Sorry about that. Terribly sorry. I was just, Fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated this situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. How do prosecution and coroner overlap? Oh yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. How's the little bird girl going to come into play? Because that's another character that was introduced for 5 seconds last chapter. Are we going to see her again? Is she going to be the new coroner? Because she seems a little too enthused about her work, I gotta say. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Kazuma? That's Kazuma, right? What's become of Kazuma now? Yeah, on that. What became of Kazuma before? But first, not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. Damn. As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium has to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire. I swear you're Emma Sky's ancestor, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. That or Damon Gantz. Or maybe both, distantly. He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. And toilet seat handles. We haven't talked about those in a while. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Let's talk about that some more before we talk about Kazuma. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. Oh, come on. Isn't that a little overboard? This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. Please don't hate me. Please don't try to kill me this chapter. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both for ruining my ambitions. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. No one, yeah. Can't imagine you become evil. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. We have many questions. Ah, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place? And whose idea was the mask? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. Did he walk here from Hong Kong? What? They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here. He pulled a Naruhodo. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's, that way I could keep an eye on him. You just made him a prosecutor? But why the mask? Yeah, no kidding. I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeek's with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Oh, well, because it was so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask. I guess, kind of, because, yeah, Van Zeek's is going to have a bit of an apprehension about someone of Eastern descent, but then just assign him to someone else. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeek's. I had high hopes for his future. So you'll just assign him to the prosecutor's office willy-nilly, no problem, but me you have to test and basically tell me, oh, you're not the guy, you read a book for 50 days on a boat, get lost. I'm hearing some double standards here. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. What? Why? Oh. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yeah, maybe we could discuss that a little bit. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah, yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. There were such awful murders and unprecedented. Using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. Is that something... I don't know. I still feel like he's taken the fall for someone else, and maybe he was innocent. Maybe you. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. Okay, let's hear a little bit more of this, because we have been severely lacking in motive here. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. See, now he's starting to talk positively about it. I'm starting to wonder about you, buddy. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Is this going to tie into the whole legend of the Reaper? Because we were talking about how the people Van Zeek's prosecutes, maybe the only ones who have died were bad people. Because Gina is still walking around. Technically, Gina's not what I would call a good person, but innocent of the crimes she was charged with. Let's read the fine print on that one. Still steals my pocket change every time I see her. But, The guilty parties, the ones who were guilty but won their court cases, died. And the really bad members of the aristocracy. What does that say about Van Ziek's brother, then? Are we going to find out more about him, and maybe he was kind of a prick? Yeah, good thing Lord Van Ziek's left before you said that, by the way. It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper. Yes, exactly. Literally exactly what I just said. Oh, is there an actual Reaper who's been monitoring the Van Ziek's cases and still killing people, and that's the actual professor and they're still alive? And is it Vortex? I don't know. Having someone that high profile, that would be a little weird. But it's got to be somebody. But you're just looking at us with these ellipses, and I'm like, I don't know. You're on my radar, buddy. You're on my hit list. I have nothing to do. I don't even have things to present. I must have to do something around here. I'll just throw my armband at people. What do people have to say about this? Can I show you this, Lord? Oh, you're not even interested. There isn't even specific flavor text for this. I'm the Lord Chief Justice. I'm not here to offer advice about evidence. Oh, okay. Especially when the evidence in question is so dull. Hey, come on. I'm proud of this. Okay, it's not that. Do I have something to examine around here? There's a chair. I guess we'll come back here. Can I shift the... Yeah, I can. Is Van Ziek's maybe is still around here. Alright, I'm going to assume I'm done here for now. I don't see anything particularly noteworthy. Maybe there's something I still need to do here. Hey, Holmes, you want to tell me more about my armband? Whoops. Check it out. Oh, I do get flavor text about this. Maybe. Tell me, Mr. Naruto, is this the first time you've shown me this particular trinket? Surprisingly, yes. I don't really remember, to be honest. If my saying that it's a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck would have precipitated a "here we go again" from your lips, we could be sure it was not the first time. Nope, that's definitely the first time I've heard that. Deduction, you see, my dear fellow. Deduction! I would love to be able to just examine your hair, but you vanish as soon as I pick the option. Is there anything else noteworthy around here? Is Iris sitting around? No Iris. What am I up to? Maybe I can do things meaningfully up here now? Do I get green text? Nope. Just the pleasant music. Well, we're off to a roaring start. I'm already stuck. I can't present anything else. I've already done all my conversing. I must have to examine something. Wait, there's a newspaper here. This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's in an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." Okay. The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but... he might. There's something on my face. Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. Am I going to get a new... Oh, evidence. All right. Am I going to get a conversation option now? Or do I have to actually present it and go the long way around? All right. New evidence to throw at people. Yay! Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Holmes. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. Now Rosario's going to have to make a whole new waxwork. So at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruto. Sorry. In the first instance, and quite indispensably, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. My eyes are shut now. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? There we go. Yeah, what's this all about? So what's the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled? You've noticed it in the papers, then? That my dear fellow was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. Oh, now we get to elaborate on this. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me, given the name. That might mean natural red hair, though. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? For doing what? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. Brown's a shade of red, isn't it? The trouble is they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Hooray! It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Holmes. Yes, but think of me and my problems. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Haven't you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? Is this going to have to do with those other two? A blunder, Mr. Naruto, though it pains me to admit it. Your blunder. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Holmes? I'm glad you asked, Miss Suzuto. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. Wait, what? Neither dyed nor a hairpiece? Well, how? I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Oh, well, hair dye counts as chemistry, doesn't it? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled across a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame like red. You did it with a potion. Okay. Getting all alchemist in here. How would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But Mr. Holmes, is it quite safe to drink? Yeah. Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Come on, talk Suzuto into it. It'll be hilarious. Oh, amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Holmes. You mean to say... But of course, I now have liver cancer. To earn £4 per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. Come on, Suzuto, you're a big fan. Chug. So anyway, Holmesy left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street when the Red-Headed League was interviewing prospective new members. I guess we'll be going there at some point for some reason. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed people, like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Lol. Get wrecked. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. She just got them arrested because you didn't like him. Oh dear, what a disaster. For Holmesy and those two redheads. What do you charge them with? Ding-a-ling-ling. Holmes, dude, you got your own phone? Damn, luxury. Ah, here's my guest now, my latest client with money to spend. Oh, that was the doorbell. Never mind. Ew, I do hope it's an exciting case, Holmesy. What new NPC do we get to see this time? Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course, which is what it'll be, no doubt. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid the Holmesy can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Thwack. Oh, it's you! I was going to venture some guesses as to who was going to come in the door. You weren't even on that list. Okay. We don't even have a name for you. And your voice was ultra generic. All right, well, we'll keep up with the generic and see if this is just a gag appearance or if you're going to be sticking around for a bit. I hope you're not the next victim. That would suck. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, please, oh, please. Please find my husband. He's run away. What did I say? To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruto? What am I saying? I didn't say anything. Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea if you please. Of course. Random citizens of London. Cough, cough, asset reuse, cough. What's the matter, Miss Suzuto? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. She look familiar? I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Yep, a week ago. Yeah, now that you come to mention it. Oh, this case fast forwarded a week. Maybe we'll end up with a day where the day is actually the day that I'm streaming. Oh, she does get a name. As I explained earlier, my name is Anna Middlemont. Middlemont. She's one of the few jurors that gets a name. Actually, I guess a few of the jurors got names. My name is Anna Middlemont. Is there a pun? Enamel? Enamel. A middle. Not enamel. A middle. Middlemont. F it. I implore you to take this case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to we, madam. You liar. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. He lied as naturally as he breathed. Oh, Mr. Holmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I would, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you'll remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. Hey, how's it going? This gentleman and lady would be... Oh, me? You don't remember? What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing. Yeet. I'm going to punch you before the end of this Let's Play. Let's just be clear. Why did I ever get my hopes up? Oh, we get to... Oh, well, we're just going to straight up have a little chit-chat. Are these guys allowed to listen in? My dear, they're going to be the ones talking to you. I'm going to have a little nap. Maybe dye my hair back. Forgive me for asking, Miss Middleton, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh, my. Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. Oh, okay. That's nice. If you wish to enlighten the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Dude, she's married. Is it possible? That you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week. Attended? You're in the jury. I knew I recognized her. Yeah, you were juror number 2. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Oh golly, oh gosh, oh golly, oh gosh, oh wow. Good luck getting that reference. I didn't quite recognize her before because she's acting so differently now. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean. Holmes. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more. Now look what you started, Holmes. Thank you very much. Also for telling me that cop looked like a mass murderer. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Hey, you're the one that gave me dialogue options. Speaking of which, tell us about your husband, madam.
Mr. Middlemont, my Avery Day, is 40 years of age.
Oh, okay.
I have a photograph here.
You don't look 40. Yeah, dude looks good for 40. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married?
It'll be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear. I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh, gosh.
She is well dressed. Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
What does one have to do with the other? That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me.
Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Holmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
Oh, is he going to be that barricade guy or whatever? A guard? That is somewhat unusual. A gaol warder. Maybe it's someone we've been running into off-screen during all these cases. So your husband is a prison warder. Was that what that barricade was? I forget who barricade, what his profession was. I'm just imagining that he's some sort of cop or investigator of some kind, because every time I say it, I'm thinking of the police car.
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Ah, so he probably is that guy. Maybe. Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Monokuma? Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? Is he the dude with the axe?
And at such times he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory.
Oh, I'm starting to smell Professor again. Is this the guy who goes around killing people?
But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated.
Remunerated? Is that not remunerated? Okay.
Remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Gallow, Mr. Holmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yep, it's all coming together.
Yes, that's correct.
Lowgate Cemetery. I was about to say the cemetery where the professor was buried. Yeah. No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Why didn't she mention that at the time? Unbelievable, my dear fellow. And yet undeniable. I mean, I said it before. I said it on Twitter. This is the case where things are going to start connecting. That train is going to was picking up steam last trial. Ain't no stopping it. Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid. Whoop. Sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid you've lost me. Also, this tea is very dry.
Pay no heed, madam. Pay no heed. A private matter. That can't really be a coincidence, can it? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh.
He's been gone for a week?
It was yesterday.
I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent, laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night. But this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Avery Day, whatever can have happened?
Is that his actual... No, his last name is Middle... whatever. Yeah, that. Middlemont. Please, calm yourself. Now then. Have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally. But sadly, They refused to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Miss Middleton, I keep wanting to say Middleton, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. You can still pay me. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. Figures. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You really shouldn't be saying that to this man. You seek only to put the sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Wow, my powers of deduction are increasing. Thank you for everything you've shared with us, Miss Middleman. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation.
Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure.
So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Holmes.
Good news should be delivered early, I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. That's a pretty unassuming-looking mass murderer, if I'm right. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door. The real one, not the cat one.
I cannot thank you enough, Mr. Holmes. You've been simply marvelous. You know, I think it every time, Holmesy. But how do you come up with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two. Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I successfully located Mr. Middleman, we shall be mutually relieved. So that name does seem like it's been added by the mod because it is extending past the text box. Would you agree, Mr. Naruto? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. I'll have to go find out what the real name is later. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Oh, yeah, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Am I going to be the one in charge of resolving it so that you can pay rent? Excellent. What did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Gallo, I mean. Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Here comes that music. Here comes that flashback. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Gallo, so it was renowned among us students as the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Barclay Gallo is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
The professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruto. I knew it. Sorry. Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with his hair. Well, that's your excuse. Yeah, just when I thought you couldn't look more anime, you went and did that. But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was quite a different matter. You were outside for 8 hours, so I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you excuse me, I'm rather busy. Of course you are. Let's be honest, Naruto, you've got nothing better to do. Barclay Gallo is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Isn't this the place we always come to see our clients and stuff? Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower.
What kind of grandfather clock is that?
That's not in great taste. I want one. Whoa. Hey, big guy. Huh. Voice for big guy. I already got too many deep voices. Do I dare do deep British? Do I dare do deep Holmes? I almost felt like I already had one of those, kind of the variant for the bailiff, but we'll... Much like Leonardo DiCaprio, we need to go deeper. Let's see. Let's start with Sherlock. This place is full of hardened criminals. This place is full of hardened criminals. Yeah, we can kind of go with that. I lose the British a bit, but it needs some sort of distinction. This place is full of hardened criminals. It's like somewhere halfway between Gregson and Sherlock. I can't remember the last time a civilian was down here. I got to throw the extra little funny words in there, like with Gina. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. Damn, it's Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Harry Barricade, huh? So this is Barricade. All right. Good to know. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does this mean? Yeah, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan! Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, then, no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to ask you some questions. I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking what likes you suspicious-looking Easterners. Does Suzuto have to get her dad down here? No, get on here. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means...
I think it's because of the professor case.
You think so too? Did we get to talk to your back? 10 years ago, Genshin Isogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You sniffing around about this case, are you? Uh-oh. You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. Kind of like the people who, they were saying the supporters who were saying down with the criminal or corrupt members of aristocracy or whatever. No, not at all. We're just... Get going with ya before I punch the lights out. We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Mention your last name, Suzuto.
Governor Barricade.
What are you thinking, Miss Suzuto?
I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere.
No kidding.
I was wondering if whoever mentioned it might have some ideas to help us.
Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. So go back to the hotel, you're saying. Do I even have options here? No, I don't even. I don't even get generic flavor text for the options that I would have gotten. He's just like, nah, shut the F up. I said get out! So be it. Back to the hotel. Green text? Green text? Oh, he's just sitting there reading a paper. Where's Jigoku? Where is he? Taking his trunk up? Mikotoba's just sitting here reading the paper. Hey, you want to dye your hair red? There's an article in there. Hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today, goodness, he is full of energy.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Gallo. Oh, Governor Barricade, you mean? So it is the same man.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That'd be wonderful. If you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. What? Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? Read the newspaper? No. I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikitobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. To write a note? Yep, there we go. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Or Suzuto could have just said her full name. Ah, thank you. Good luck then. Well, that was the easiest puzzle in history. Let's see if it works. Hey, big dude. How's about this? Do I get to examine it? This is probably going to stay in my inventory. I'm going to need this ticket of his, aren't I? Well, we'll examine it later. But we will note its existence for the moment. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Barricade. What's this then? You cannot pull it all over me eyes. You're good for nothing, Japanese student. Mikitoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory? That Mikitoba? Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear. Perhaps I should have said something sooner. Yeah, your actual name. I'm Yujin Mikitoba's daughter, Suzuto. Jings! You're the young man's daughter? And you didn't think to mention that afore? I think being that forceful with the voice is probably going to work. I do apologize. Aye, well, you best take a seat then, and offer you a cup of tea, perhaps. It's leaning less British and more pirate, but we'll roll with it. The hell? And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. You make actual biscuits that look like handcuffs. Yeah, this guy has really bought into the theme. Also, that cage is way too small for that parrot, man. That is just inhumane. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. Yeah, what did I say before? See? You're not perfect. So then, what can I do for you, hen? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. I haven't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh. But how can that be? I mean, he's only been missing for a day, guys. Come on. Oh, that's his full name. It's Avery Day Middlemont. Okay. Everyday Miss Middlemont. Everyday Middlemont. Everyday what? Everyday. I don't know what the pun is there. I have a feeling it's also modded too, so I don't know. We'll come back to that. Middlemont! That's right. His wife came to us and asked if we could investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. It's talkie time with the big dude. We understand that Mr. Middlemont is the chief warder here at the prison, and his last name keeps pushing the text out. It's very irritating. Aye, and he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job. No doubt about it. He's a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he didn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was that exactly? Well, that's the question. What was it about? It can't have been much less than 10 years ago now. Okay. What? Boy, 10 years is the new 7 years when it comes to this franchise. Ah, there's that music. He stopped working here 10 years ago now. Oi, as I mind it, till you can, I hadn't heard the fella's name in all that time. So worry if he's gone missing, though.
But Miss Middleton made no mention of that. Why do I keep calling her Middleton? It's Middlemont. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Barricade, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Middlemont give up his job here?
That's important, is it?
Well, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago, like everything in this game, which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison.
Yeah. I spell shenanigans. I don't know what those shenanigans are yet, but there are many possibilities. We are shenanigan rich at the moment.
So Miss Middleton, I said it again, had to correct myself, actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
He just keeps showing us his back. It was after a particular walk. Walk? Sorry, a walk? Aye, that's the word for it here. A walk to the gallows.
Oh, an execution. Was he the one that executed the professor, or failed to because he had to get shot later?
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only Middlemont did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post.
But why wouldn't Mr. Middlemont know? Why wouldn't Mrs. Middlemont know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I wouldn't ken anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, hen?
That last execution that Mr. Middlemont was responsible for overseeing.
Are we going to say the name, or are we just going to play it safe and say, was it this date in particular in February?
Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly. Simon's thoughts exactly. Everyone's thoughts exactly. 'Cause 10 years ago. I'm sorry, I really am, but I'm not at liberty to answer that.
I see. Well, give us some background lore stuff things. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, you need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken?
Yeah, I can imagine.
He says ken a lot.
The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Anstrude. It's still in use today.
St. Anstrude. That's come up before, I'm sure.
I'm not entirely sure it has. Maybe it came up last case, because that's where Scythe was working.
Yes, that's right. We've been there. Last case, like Simon says.
Mikitoba and I after used to ride the cars together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, and we used to sit in there for hours and gab on about the dissection and all sorts. Oh, it takes me back. Or a pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course.
How charming.
Cuff biscuits. Can I get those in stores? Also, that teacup is tiny as hell for you. He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. I'm imagining this guy is actually, like, 20 feet away from us, but still looks this huge. So when he picks up this little tiny teacup, it's actually a normal-sized teacup. It's just he's 15 feet tall. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese.
Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose.
Whoa. I couldn't tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one more for you away, Hen. I'm sure I'll have it here somewhere. And that's a 20-foot cabinet. Oh, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
Do people get those? What is it?
That's Middlemont's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh, my. Are you sure?
Well, here's something we'll be presenting the wife. Oh, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind.
So you just have it. Thank you very much, Governor Barricade.
Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be seeing you again. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yeah, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Holmes with what we found out about Mr. Middlemont. What will he tell Mrs. Middlemont, I wonder? All right, well, obvious location then. She's probably at home waiting, so she won't be here anymore, I don't think.
We're back! We came straight here instead of going to the attic this time.
Iris or Holmes, Iris or Holmes.
Hello, you two! Damn, I'm good! I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Ah, so that's what the smell is. Jesus Christ. Dude! No! This is bordering on cultural appropriation. Greetings, my dear fellows. Would you like a dress? You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. What did you drink to accomplish that? Hello, Mr. Holmes.
Hello, Mr. Holmes.
I've decided to pay the rent by becoming a VTuber. Say nothing, your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. That would have been advisable, yes.
Oh, my.
Pray, tell me, one of our water friend, have you gotten some new information? I can't take you seriously. We're not having this conversation. I'm going to talk to Iris and she can fill you in. Never mind, she has pink hair. I'm no better off. Yeah, something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that...
Who is this going to be? That sounds an awful lot like a Saseki, even though he should be in Japan.
Oh, it's Gina! Holmes! Drop everything, Holmes! This is more important!
Gina? You going to comment on the hair? Uh-oh. Oh, bad things.
Oh, I can't believe it! Why is she trembling? Oh, don't do that. Don't. No, no, no.
What's the bad? Boy, this stream is just full of everything today. Clearly a very grave matter indeed. Don't tell me she lost the puppy. Nothing's happened to the puppy. You tell me that something happened to the puppy, I'm ending this stream. But Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. Yeah, that's how you know it's bad.
It's the boss.
Okay, it's the unimportant Toby. The good boy Toby's still okay, right? Oh, did he get murdered? Is that list of 4 actually a hit list? Because if Asogi hadn't come back from the grave, all those people would be dead if Gregson's dead right now.
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson? The boss is... He's dead!
Holy crap. I kind of thought the possibility might be there because his name was on the list, but I didn't think they'd actually go and do it. Oh, snap. Gina, you, That's a thing. What? Is Asogi, gonna get killed again?
I just found his body! Shot with a pistol!
What? Oh, dicks, yeah. This chapter got no breaks.
But Inspector Gregson,
he was murdered? Was it Middlemont?
No! Not Toby! Don't worry, the little Toby's still fine.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Yeah, that. Oh, poor Gina. I mean, she's still going to be an apprentice. It's not like they're going to promote her past everyone else in Scotland Yard, I can't imagine, but still. Gina! Why you got to be having such a crap time in all these final cases?
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet, but they're still there investigating the scene.
When did this take place?
In a rented room in a building full of flats on Resno Street.
Oh, so he was the unassuming murderer in the prologue. Surrounded by redheads. The outskirts of town. Nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange.
Yeah, he was up to some stuff, let's be clear.
The boss, he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was going to show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Janie Bean.
That's not cool. So who did this? 'Cause I'm going to shoot him myself. Good. They better be glad I don't have a Sogi sword anymore. Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
I got him already.
Oh, is it going to be Middlemont?
Already?
They've caught the shooter so soon. Are you here asking for help, or are you just here to just cry and tell us about it?
Oh, this reporter something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him.
It's a Sogi. I mean, it's Saseki again somehow. Or maybe it is a Sogi. Damn. I mean, whoever it is probably going to be the wrong person. We're going to have to defend them.
Who? What awful person did this?
Say Kazuma. Do it. I dare you.
Oh, I still can't believe it myself. It's some Eastern bloke. Gina?
Or is it like Lord Van Zeeks or something? It's going to be somebody.
It was a Reaper.
It was? Oh, okay. It was like my third or fourth guess. It was my last guess. That's the only thing that matters. All right, Van Zeeks. Wait a minute. The actual Reaper or the Reaper? They've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it.
That's right. A Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss.
No, Lord Van Zeeks? The shit? Yep, now it all goes down. Boy, if you're watching the stream starting with this stream, boy, you really need to catch up before you start here. I didn't even read that.
I saw him with my own eyes in the inner room, view room at the yard. I don't believe it.
And if it was the professor and then Van Zeeks is trying to cover for him in some way because he knows who it is and they're still alive. And where's this Middlemont guy at?
But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
Yeah, there were witnesses in the last case, dude. Didn't mean nothing, did it? You were one of them, I might add.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
That means nothing in this case. I mean this franchise anymore. I don't care if the entire city saw him do it. He didn't do it.
They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and our Reaper bloke in the room.
But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Aw, quit trembling, Gina. Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What are you saying sorry for? He didn't do nothing.
Yeah, but he knows something, and that might have contributed to it, didn't you, Holmes? Yeah, sneaky bastard.
Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all as soon as you can. You gotta help.
I wonder if she believes the Reaper did it or not, or if she just wants our input, or if she's just hysterical, which is again understandable. It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot is unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Holmes, what use is there being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I have let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Like, maybe he did know something. Even the disc, he was there when we were listening to the translation of the Morse code on the metal disc. He knew Gregson's name was on there. Does that tie into other things you know that you ain't telling us?
Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It will be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Middlemont who? Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zeek's arrested. Rayu, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. The hell's a hansom? Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susanoo? I've called you a hansom. Oh, thanks, Iris. I'm having a good hair day. Yes. Thank you for noticing. A new location has been added.
So we can't even go to the place yet. Up, Gal, Friends Street. Oh, we can go there. Okay, well, we said we'd talk to Van Zeeks first. Let us do as we said, and then we shall check out the... Oh, well, ain't you comfy. So this isn't necessarily the Gallo that Barricade is in charge of. It's just local Gallo. I thought it was kind of the same one, because there's always ever one location of everything in these friggin' games.
There he is. Lord Van Zeek's behind bars. Hey, we've come to laugh at you. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeek's?
Of course I've noticed you. Do you think I'm blind? Your partner's wearing bright pink. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, with the last person on Earth I'd like to see.
Nice to see you, too. I mean, I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That you, that Inspector Gregson was...
Yeah, what do you got to say about that? Go home. This has nothing to do with you.
Getting some serious Edgeworth vibes from the first ace attorney here. You don't want us to investigate for some reason? Why don't you want us to investigate? We're going to investigate anyway. But... I mean, I have another location I can go to. It's not really a problem. Forgive me, Lord Van Zeeks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you.
What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case?
This? Oh, you're just going to offer it up? Go for it. The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Is it, Dobby? Yep.
Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. What was it? The University of Law and Teleportation? Very specific university.
And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know?
Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeeks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow.
I'm using the same animations. I don't know why you would say that.
Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened?
You know we're going to investigate anyway. How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived. When they arrived on the scene and arrested immediately. We were told that there was no one else in the room, and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
Oh, don't give me that! But the gunshot! Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you, Edgeworth?
I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers.
So he doesn't actually know what happened? You didn't have time to investigate anything in the time it took for the police to just arrive out of nowhere? I find that hard to believe. You couldn't have looked in a room or gone up some stairs? If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh,
After all, you're not representing me. He's gonna need a lawyer, though. You want to bet we're not gonna be representing you? I don't care if you don't like it. Do you have any idea who the protagonist in this game is? Who's gonna be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? Rhetorical question. Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Imagine again.
would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. Yeah, what happens when the Reaper is the defendant? Does everyone in the courtroom just drop dead? How does this curse work exactly? In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. So of the three, Gina, Saseki, and then who? Is there a third person, or is it just Saseki again? How is that worded? Because he said defendants, not trials. So Gina, Saseki... Oh, Benjamin, of course. Okay, so, yeah, all right, fair enough. Math checks out.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole.
But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths.
Did you? Do you believe in coincidences, Mr. Naruhodo? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Everything is 10 years. Oh, yeah, I guess he had his change of heart back when his brother died, so that's kind of understandable. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that.
What does he mean by that? Him and Gregson were investigating something, and then Gregson got shot? We're going to ask you about your private letter now. After the trial, Professor Doobie-Doobie-Doo was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought.
Didn't you go with him? It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
So, yeah, I mean, we talk about this this curse having a range limit, but it seems that the Reaper is a local, as it were. That doesn't explain Gina, though. Yes, so it seems. This also needs to account for certain other things, because McGundle died in a burning carriage, but that was attributed to Eggs Benedict. Had a little fry of his own. So that wasn't a Reaper necessarily. And then the murder victim in the last case was also acquitted, but he got exploded by, what's-his-face, the engineer, who I don't even remember the name of anymore. Enoch, yeah, Enoch Drebber. He wasn't murdered by him. He was ultimately murdered by Scythe, but either way, like, is there a connection? Is it just coincidence? Like, Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day.
Yeah, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Dabindi-Bindi-Boo is safely back in Germany now. I'm going to keep making fun of his name now.
He is.
Now that I don't have to say it all the time.
Oh, that's it. We're just getting the update. That was a short one. So, it appears our conversation has run dry.
That was a 2-second silence, that's all.
Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you.
I was wondering, Lord Van Zeeks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you.
You trust me, do you?
Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another life. It's just my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly.
It's a very gracious offer, however. I trust no one.
What?
Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese.
But please!
I have no intention of engaging your services.
The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems.
There's that interesting new... This is what accounts for a new pose for Van Zieks. He turns his head slightly. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time.
Middlemont who? Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper. Find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson.
Well, we know where we're going. This is an interesting room. What? Holmes ain't hanging off the roof? Oh yeah, Holmes won't be... Well, maybe he'll be able to be seen in public for something like this.
All right, fine. I'll deal with the blue hair. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden, rented old room is where it happened then.
Why does this vaguely remind me of... What was the first Sherlock Holmes? A Study in Scarlet? Something like that? I don't know. For some reason that name came to me when I saw this room. Maybe it just... I don't know. I haven't read that story in ages, so who knows if there's any similarities, but I don't know. Something in the back of my mind tells me there's an inspiration here.
So this is where Gregson lost his life. Yes, the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. Having some belchies on my sparkling water. I don't see Mr. Holmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigation has taken him elsewhere. Did anyone find the bottomless fish and chips? Because that's like a legendary relic, and I'd love to have that.
Oi! What you think you're doing there?
Not yet. Gina's going to be,
Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath them all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey! Ain't you lot never going over a house looking for dough when the owner's out of town?
Oh, is that where your experience comes from? Should have guessed.
Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, she's mad.
Oi! So you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here all myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Holmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. You want prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking at this and that and just scomping.
Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean?
Yeah. Ain't stopped to say nothing to no one, not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? I mean, come on.
Listen, Otto. You're a lawyer, right?
Yeah. Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh, poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. I mean, come on, he was just doing his job.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Laura Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime...
I mean, Van Zieks was nice to her last trial. Case 2, because now she's an inspector. He said she was trustworthy and everything.
If Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Otto. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here.
Thank you, Gina.
All right. Poke all the things, but first...
Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Half a year? Boy, she wasn't in jail very long. Oh, no, well, she was innocent. I guess she might have been in the clink. Yeah, I know she wasn't that innocent because of what she did with McGundle. Boy, you didn't serve much of a prison sentence at all, did you?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Holmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss until then. But it turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard.
Goodness, really?
I saw you managed to solve some really tricky case. Just like that.
He did?
Yep. And ever since then, he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look where that landed him. Respect for the Reaper in what way? I heard him say as much. I'll take my hat off to that fella. Was words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard. He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. I mean, he did go after you, just saying. What is this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's been rented by some cove called Hugh Boone. Okay, sure thing. Hugh Boone. It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it? Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him. Oh, so it's like a John Doe, that's his name, so they don't know the real name. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't really been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right! All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation, but there's so little here, no one knows what to do with themselves. What's that notice board up on the side there? Is that something we put up? I do wonder. Yes, Miss Suzuto? Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone, whatever, is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I'd never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you'll see there's few things that hint at it. We should really investigate this place in detail. Yeah, that thing at the back there kind of implies it. We'll see what else is here, though. I see that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there. Yeah, okay, nothing's over here. Wait, was that a doll? Something was on the ground there. There was a gun and there was something else before Gina popped in. Yeah, that's right. I said it was a single bullet what did him in. Yeah, his little policeman toy. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree there on the wall. Oh yeah, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. Boy, that's a pretty upward angle to do something like that. And, well, what was Venziks doing? Lying on the ground? Dude's 7 feet tall. And a gun is used there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy. Oh, I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some big-wig lawman or whatever who said it. Why don't you ask him? A big-wig lawman, is it? Yeah, who's going to be prosecuting this case exactly? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling. You think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? Watch it be the redheadeds. I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're scooping for and what you'll be grilling for and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. I'm sure they'll show up at the trial then. Is that it for you? Alright, well, inspection time. Body's over there, but I'm curious about this. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look! This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here of inmates. Yes, in fact, there are all sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, and this one here. Oh yeah, the advertisement you mean, to the Redheaded League. Good. The Redheaded League is going to factor into this in some way. Were they outside? Were they the street sellers? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
I mean, why were they collecting redheads? What was the goal there? There's got to be some plan. Maybe it's the team name for the Professor Squad.
An empty fireplace makes the room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other. What else we got? Who's this?
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family.
Is this going to be Middlemont? Is this going to be Is he going to be Mr. Middlemont? Is this why he was missing? Was Inspector Gregson Mr. Middlemont? Let's see this picture. Is it? Is it her? Is it actually her?
What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, quickly!
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? It is her! Son of a bitch. Why do I feel... Ryunosuke said this 3 times, and every single time he's been a blithering idiot. Come on. You have the memory span of a goldfish here.
Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. Also a week ago at court. Oh, it's... Miss Middlemont. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Middlemont in here?
Boy, Gregson was like leading 2 or 3 different lives here. Jeez. To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. No, I think it's what Psy'Min says.
I'm sorry to say I have no idea either.
Framed photograph. Interesting. Candle, nothing. Drawers, nothing. Stool, nothing. Let's talk to the Bobby. Excuse me. Oh, Spectre. Oh, sir. Poor man, he can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Oh, that's all you got? Okay, door, nothing. Pipe, nothing. No gas shenanigans this time? Nobody's blowing into pipes? Alright. That's it for you. Probably the same response. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right. Perhaps I better leave you to your work then. What was the name of the inspector dude from AI, the Somnium Files? I'm going to pretend that's him. Kazami or something? From the number of times he told me is... Wait, what the hell? Why does every... Okay. We're gonna get some answers about that red hair later, but yeah. You lose a mop, Inspector.
This is presumably the murder weapon then. Oh my. It is real, I suppose.
You've seen real guns before. Windy Bang had one, or whatever his name was. Windy Thing. Windy Guy. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them.
There's only one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot.
No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. But it's in my inventory. I'm strapped. What about you? What is this weird thing?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way.
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should have recorded as evidence, just in case.
Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful, after all, in a way.
That's going to be a key piece of evidence. If that wasn't there, we'd never be able to solve the case. You just watch. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Why is there red hair everywhere today?
Funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece.
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is. It is. A bright red hairpiece.
And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, doesn't it?
And it's such a flame-colored red, too.
Yeah, that's a color we've come across pretty recently elsewhere, isn't there?
Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, what is... This is the... I can't wait to hear the story behind all this. It's the redheaded gang. They're behind everything. I knew it. Never trust them redheads. Top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. One of them? It looks like two of them have blown off. Oh, no. I see what it means now. It's the tall one. It's got the charring there and everything.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind. Look,
Is there? I suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle. Why didn't it hit the wall then?
having first passed through the inspector's body.
Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Where is this wax on the wall? Also, the bullet would be in the wall then, I'm assuming, right? The candelabra's been entered into the court record. Seriously, that is a hell of an angle. I mean, imagine Gregson is the height of that Bobby. And imagine Gregson was standing there. Like, the guy would have to have been under the floorboards, Danganronpa style, and shot him up. Like, I'd love to see the entry angle of the wound on the body. That better be in the autopsy report. That looks like he was slumped over. Just kind of on his side in the fetal position. So I suppose this is where the victim...
That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away.
Would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. Oh, are we going to visit Bird Girl? Is she slicing him up for Hamburger Helper right now?
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball.
Did he die right away, or was he trying to put pressure on the wound or something?
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality.
Yep. Imagination sucks, doesn't it? Take it from the hypnotist. Suzudo's so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Let's see. We got the window. We inspected these things. Blah, 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 blah. Not the thing. We'll talk to the Bobby. Excuse me. More of the same? If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least still let in some light, so
You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Is that it? I figured I'd get kicked out of the examination mode. I think I'm done here. I got some evidence. Do I get to throw it at... whoops, that's not what I wanted. Get to throw it at the Genie Beanie? Nothing else noteworthy? Hey, Gina, we got some questions. We got some evidence. We got some pictures. What the hell's this thing about? Is there evidence on this? What's this about the hat? Oh, okay. Has that been scuffed on the side in some way? The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yeah, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if someone has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun! Oh. Oh! Damn! Ah, what's that?
it appears to be some sort of
Key. Is that what that is? But it's tiny, though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what's it for, I wonder? Okay, a drawer of some kind? Let me see this key. That's barely a key. Alright. Interesting. Almost looks more like a mini gun. This looks like some sort of key.
Yes, it does.
Why is the key hollow?
A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for?
Alright, well, let's try that in a few different places. But before that, can we inspect this? Nothing of real note.
I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head, so it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
Alright. Nothing particularly weird about that, above and beyond how weird it already is anyway. Yeah, that is kind of an upward angle, isn't it? Seemingly.
Ah, there's some black marks here. Look.
Is that why there was that streak in the wallpaper? I didn't see that as wax. But, wow, that must have been a really sharp upward angle.
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
Why aren't the other candles at least long? Having short, long, and then blown off seems weird. It's an odd design choice. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Can't imagine there's much to this. A gun's a gun.
I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms could shed a light on things here. Yeah, but Windibank's dead, so we're screwed.
I can't imagine they're talking about Gina. She's not going to know anything about that. There's something about... Oh, no. Relieved of his post with immediate effect. All rights to... No, I mentioned before it was February. No, it was in June because we were talking about how the... I can't remember what I mentioned February for, but June was definitely when the professor was killed, but because we were talking about how it was a very short night because of how early the sun rose when Rosario was doing her grave digging. So this is definitely... I mean, we could have guessed that. Wait a minute. Why is my screen pink? Oh! I clicked something by accident. Mother effer. How long has that been going on? Damn it! This is why early morning streams suck, because people aren't around to tell me when something goes wrong. Oh man. I was into it, so I didn't even notice. Damn it. Okay, so you guys were all looking at my nice expensive pink overlay there. Planning to work on some more of those when the new computer comes in, by the way. I was talking about that at the beginning of the stream. We'll be seeing if we can get some proper graphics to accommodate that relaunch. But, yeah. Well, that must have been like that for at least a good 10 minutes. Sorry about that. Ah, the joys of live streaming. Moving on. We're looking at the notice of dismissal for Middlemont. Wait, what the hell? Okay, hang on a second. If Tobias is Middlemont, this raises a whole bunch of questions, because it means that he was Avery Day, which means that he was the executioner back when, you know, Barricade was doing his thing 10 years ago. Tobias, damn, there's a lot of strings here. Aiding and abetting the escape. That's the reason for dismissal. Aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict, blah, 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 just prior to his... Was it the professor? Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation, blah, blah, blah. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. Damn! What is this? This is a whole other mystery. It's believed the convict engaged in some sort of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance, full disclosure, blah, blah, blah. No way that doesn't factor into the metal disc and some other stuff. Can I investigate? Nope, I can't spin this around or anything. It's just magnifying glass time. All right. So, depending on when things were cut off, the gun is nothing. This is apparently a key. Let's give it a twisty twist. For fun. Shing. Yeah, it's a key. Look at that. So, that's new and interesting. The red thing is nothing. These are nothing. We investigated those, and they're just exactly as you see them. What about this? This is just a thing as well. This magnifying glass has never really come into play. It's just a for fun thing. Hey there, buddy. How you doing? All right, Gina, let's present you some stuff. Let's start with this key. Whoops. Guessing this opens a drawer somewhere for more evidence. What? Am I getting generic text? Are you serious? What was that? Evidence? Work something out about what happened, have you? Oh, no, not exactly. I ain't been long enough in the job to get all this to do some business yet. But I swear I'm gonna get to I'm gonna get the person what did this to the boss. Well, that's lame. Gina, you've held a gun in your hand before. What can you tell me about this? Nope, same thing. All right. I mean, let's just throw the evidence we got in this room at her and see what sticks. I'm going to throw that in studio mode just in case I misclick something again. I would not like that to happen again. I keep examining instead of presenting. Gina, how'd you like to be a redhead? And last but not least... I did it again. I'm 4 for 4. And we're 4 for 4 on no information. Alright. Nothing else here could really be meaningful. We know about that. Of course, Gregson might not be Middlemont. Again, it could just be the... Well, I mean, it's pretty clear he's the one who lived here, so maybe he is Middlemont. But again, that raises a whole bunch of questions about 10 years ago. Have I got new things to ask? Nope. Alright, let's... Oh, we got a whole bunch of options here. Let's try going back to Holmes. Let's try going home to Holmes. Green text? Anyone to talk to? Anyone here at all? Nope. 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 Not to my place. That's not going to do any good. Lord Chief Justice, I could have a few questions for him. Maybe. Venzix isn't going to want to talk to us yet. Barricade's not going to be really interesting to talk to us. Can we talk to Vortex about anything? Green text? Green text? Oh, here we go. Okay, 1st November. 1st November. That's a Monday. That's next... That's in 3 days. Okay, if the trial is on the same day, which you... Actually, no, it might not be. Okay, so it won't fall on the same day. Anyway... You've made good time. Oh, snap. Is he going to be in different clothes? Is he going to look more evil? Oh, no, it's someone else entirely. I took an express train back to London. Is it Benjamin? Is it Debimbo because he heard about Zeke's? Is it Scythe? Who is it? Is it someone new? I can hear Lord Vortex. Can you? Is he talking to Blastoff? It sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh, it's a Sogi. Okay, so he came in... Uh-oh. Oh, snap. I mean, Asogi can't be the professor because he's been in Japan all his life until a year ago. So, how is this going to roll? Why is this question marks? We know who this is. I was going to say, what's he going to do with the other sword? No, he just does have 2 swords now. All right, cool. I guess you just get to walk around in London with those. I had a private compartment on the train, so I could check all the paperwork. It's Kazuma! You heard that, didn't you? Yep. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Well, this is the Reaper. Usually it's the Reaper, but not this time.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Vortex. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson?
I believe only in the facts, and the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. Well, at least you just said accusal and not conviction. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
It's a truly regretful situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. Oh yeah, how's that going to factor in? Everything is happening. Just, yeah. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. Equitable, whatever.
So does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Oh, is Kazuma going to be the prosecutor? Because that's what he's been training for. Why? What is Kazuma playing at? Because we still don't know his game, his plan, his mission. Yeah, introductions will be unnecessary. Kazuma. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asugi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Wait, what? Kazuma?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Well, he's a defense attorney. Kazuma? A prosecutor?
Oh, he's just back there. I missed that third option, reading. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proved him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now.
What?
No. Tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Or are they going to say that there's been new forensic advancements that have now changed things, and now they can say that, no, wait, he could have done it. Is that the plan? The killer's gun. Okay, that was the other option.
So Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow?
Well, you're a cold SOB nowadays, huh? Like, you're just, how about a hug? That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Vortex.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. This is gonna suck. But why Kazuma? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. It is one of the final trials, after all. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution.
Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. after practicing law in this land for so many months.
Kazuma, he's like the final boss. I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend.
Yeah, why are you being hostile? Now everyone's being racist to me, even the people that are the same race. Damn.
Oh yeah, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
We tried to show it to her, but she wouldn't tell us. Now, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask someone higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person.
What about Lord Van Zeeks?
He claims it's currently not in his possession.
What?
According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks.
Can we present things to you? Redheads? I don't think you're going to be interested in any of this. You might be interested in this. Let's toss some stuff out.
Can I show you this?
Nope. I'm the Lord Chief. I'm going to give the same thing I said before. Your evidence is dull. I am bored. I sleep now. Let's see. Yeah, this is all stuff you would sleep on. Do I show you my... I'm going to show someone my armband at some point. And it's going to be plot important. You're not going to care about... This is just evidence. This is nothing special. Can I get to examine... Hey, dude. Sup? Can we chat? I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be all right now.
Is your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Yeah, about that. Right. Kazuma, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. The voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. Is that what... Was that what the other Mikitoba's been pounding into your skull? It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what happened.
What's his name? Eugen? Eugen Mikitoba? Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. But there's something that won't return to the way it was before.
What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Did he come to Britain to be a prosecutor? That's plot convenient. Why didn't you just be a prosecutor in Japan?
It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Van Zeeks.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Thanks, man. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Who's holding it?
Before you go, Ryunosuke. Why did I use Ryunosuke's voice for you? What is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh.
I actually have a favor to ask. Yeah, I was gonna say he said he had a favor to ask on the boat, and then he died quote unquote before he had a chance to say it. This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel.
Why? What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
Why would you say that? It would mean I would beat you. But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does?
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
Oh, what's this? Oh, damn.
That's back when he wasn't an asshole. So that's Klimt on the left, I'm guessing, and of course Gregson is there.
That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson in a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person?
It's got to be his brother. It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. That's Gregson's office, though, not Van Zieks.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Renosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma?
Look, this is the plot-advancing piece of evidence you need. Just take it and go. No, that's not what I want. I want to check the history here, because that was... Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. It's not easy to see. Have a look at this. Who's the third person? If you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that straight talking makes him take a different view. And why does that picture factor in when it wasn't even in his office? Well, we have the obvious thing to do. I have a feeling we're getting close to the end of the chapter here. Apologies again for the pink screen. Hey, Ziggity Zeeks, how's it going? Still reading that letter. It wasn't that long, dude. Is it written in German, or are you translating it?
We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can.
Yeah, did you hear that, Burn? I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, you did hear my burn. Oh, sorry, I didn't think you'd hear that.
I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business.
So, have you found a lawyer?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you.
In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Vortex, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? Yeah, how about that? You're going to get prosecuted by a Nipponese. You want my help now? That made the color drain from his face.
Ha. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
Yeah, sorry about that. Such an inconvenience.
10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East.
Still got my doubts about that. Not a single day goes by where I don't curse the name Asogi.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Literally Asogi.
Genshin Asogi was Kazuma's father.
So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Vortex apprenticed Kazuma to you.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Vortex assign this trial to someone like that?
Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. We're aware. The Nipponese bane. This should be fun. I've only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Klimt, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation as his partner, was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Asogi?
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. If they were working side by side, then yeah, your brother was in exactly the same position to do stuff. Maybe Klimt killed all those people, but then Asogi Genshin had to kill Klimt because they caught him, or they got into a fight, caught him in the act or something, and then Genshin took the fall for his brother. But it turns out maybe his brother wasn't actually killed per se. Maybe he just pulled a Kazuma Asogi and came back later because he was just knocked out or in a coma or whatever. Lots of possibilities. So I lost everything when it happened. I'm going to bet on that. I don't know. There's a few possibilities here, but I could definitely see Klimt being the professor and Genshin just taking the fall because of aforementioned nobility or whatever the situation was, politics, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it was just a bad trial. Maybe he didn't even mean to do that and they just prosecuted the wrong guy. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the professor case inquiry. Lord Vortex. Ah, yeah. And I was wondering how he was going to factor into all this. Somebody around here is a mastermind of some kind.
Lord Vortex?
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I've felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed. But then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer. Yeah, sup, buddy? How's it going?
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. You're obviously deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred has festered inside me. I can no longer control it. I can't wait to see you smile at the end when we resolve all this and you realize everything's not so bad. And do you even smile? Do you have the muscles for that in your face? And I can understand why now that I know the history. But in the same way, now I'm picturing it and it's hilarious. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life. To Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his. The reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Interesting stuff. Gregson's transfer to the Paris police prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yeah, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I should have noticed that was a death flag at the time.
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean.
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh.
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to pull that arrangement in place.
It sounds like that mystery is even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
What do you got to say about that? Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. Ah, he was tied into that. He was. One of you is the professor, and it's not Genshin. There's no way. It's Gregson, or it's Klimt, or it's your dumbass. If it was, I'm doubting that last one now, but it's gotta be. It's gotta be. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made.
What sort of approach?
After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
10 years ago? Why is that so surprising?
Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble, and that made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up as an investigations made him determine it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
Wait, it's even more that you would have taken Gregson's life, okay. I don't have confidence in anyone.
Oh.
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way.
Oh, I got a picture that says otherwise. Just, you're asking me to shove it in your face.
I've no doubt he thought of me only as the Omnibus Reaper, just like the rest of London. Give me the option to show the picture. Give me the option to show the picture.
What really went on between Lord Van Zeeks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship?
Okay, well, it's not going to call for it, so we'll present it in a minute.
About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene.
Ah, yes. That's not mine.
Really? His common opinion seems to be that it is.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Vortex informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
That, I don't know.
Well, that's helpful.
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps.
That seems irresponsible. You have something in common with Lord Van Zeeks after all, Mr. Arahodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No. This has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh, we're both pissed off by that comparison. Susanoo.
Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Presenting time. Let's present the thing. But first, joke text. I think you know that this is worn by people in my country to show that they're defense lawyers, don't you? And I think you know that I believed you to be merely playing at lawyercraft, initially. But it would seem your armband may actually imply some dormant talent after all.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Let's hope you wake up soon.
Yeah, I was clearly daydreaming. I almost thought I got a compliment there.
Moving on to the actual thing.
Lord Van Zeeks, we came by this old photograph.
Where did you get that?
Oh yeah, we don't have to imagine what you look like when you're smiling, because you're right there.
It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Did they have cameras 10 years ago? Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that's my brother, Klimt.
Details have been updated, even though these are all things we could have assumed.
It had to be, really.
Exactly. Why'd I even wait for this conversation to update that? Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that?
Respect?
That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less.
Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Well, that progressed the story.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, did I raise the flag finally? That's the first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
That which you see in the eyes of another across from the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks.
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer.
Wow, you actually do believe that? Because I've heard some smarmy comments from you to the contrary.
There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. Jigoku and Mikotoba? No, never mind.
Oh,
Nope. Terrible examples then.
the man he idolizes and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way.
When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean this photograph? The only one I've shown you? Did it make you laugh? Because every time I see it, that's what I do. Oh, it did make you laugh. Awesome.
Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now.
Look at this photograph. Every time I took it, it makes me laugh.
I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm sorry to hear that. Will you be my buddy prosecution, my defense buddy now?
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Hell yeah, son. Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands.
For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask.
I guess we're getting close to the end here.
Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. Shit's getting real. To be continued? Hell yeah.
I'm going to have to look back and see how long that pink screen was up there. I really hope it wasn't that long, because honestly, I really enjoyed this this opening, and that was the only thing that marred it. Heck yeah. Daggum. All right, excellent. That was only a 3-hour stream there. I'm almost tempted to go a little bit longer, but we're not starting the trial and then finishing it halfway.
Next time is trial time. Again, things are just going to keep getting realer. You know what? Maybe the redheads did it. Maybe it's just a cabal of redheads, and everything is their fault. We'll see. But next trial, on Monday morning. I should probably check my schedule before I make any promises. I don't think I have clients on Monday. That is the first, and I am wide the hell open, it looks like. Yep. Streaming on Mondays and Fridays has seemed to be the usual deal here. I try to be in the office. Well, my usual schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in the office. Tuesday and Thursday is networking, meeting, administrative paperwork days, and then weekends are weekends off, or at least that's the way it used to be. Lately, it's more like I'm working, Sunday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday and Thursday are still times off, and Monday and Friday are just open, so that's when I've been streaming. We'll see how long that lasts for. It's been the trend for the last couple of weeks anyway.
I'm in the office by appointment, so I just try to group people where I can. And if a day off falls on a weird day, well, then it's a weird day, and that's all there is to it. But for the meantime, Monday will be more Ace Attorney. Monday will also be more Amnesia, because Mondays and Fridays have basically been Ace Attorney and Amnesia days. So if you're following me on Twitch, make sure you're catching that. Sunday will be more Melty Blood. Wait a minute, am I looking at the wrong day? Oh, it is the 29th. Dang. I was thinking there was one more Sunday that we were going to have for playing Melty Blood practice before we did some online stuff, but you know what? Maybe we'll do online stuff starting in November. Yeah, maybe. But in any case, we'll see what happens after October, because again, the new computer parts will start arriving for that beginning, I think, tomorrow or the day after, and they'll be arriving over the next couple of weeks just because shipping supply chains are a pain in the ass right now. But that will start coming together, and when that happens, we are definitely going to split into some new stuff. We're going to have another story-based game after this one. I've got a few ideas for what that's going to be. That's not exactly going to tax the system, but we will absolutely be playing some bigger stuff. I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise when that arrives. I think that's going to be launching early next year, I believe. I still want to replay BioShock Remastered. I mean, I played the original years and 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 years ago. I was hoping to play it for October, but I guess that'll just have to be an October thing or November thing. There'll also be some other CPU heavier games that we'll be able to play that I won't have to worry about the frame rate anymore, or at least that's the plan. If it doesn't fix things, that will make me very sad, but I think it should be fine. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Apologies one last time for the pink screen, but, you know, it happens. It's life. Whatever. Monday, we get into the real trial here. We start to find out a little bit more stuff. Curious where that key goes. I'm surprised we didn't get a chance to use it, but I'm sure it'll come up. Really just wondering what the hell's up with the redheads. I mean, just... Holmes is going to have a different hair color every time we see him in this trial, or this chapter. Anyway, I've talked enough. Amnesia later. Come watch me get the crap scared out of me on Twitch. Every single stream has been worse with that game. The first one was creepy. The second one had some jump scares. The third stream on Monday had the worst scare yet. So, yeah, come enjoy that. Enjoy. That's the word I'm looking for. Enjoy. See ya then.